I have a question for you. Have you ever thought where your life would have been had you not taken the risks? And here I'm talking about positive risk taking, not negative risks that are going to put your life in danger, like experimenting with drugs, being involved in careless drag racing, as an example, but taking a risk that is going to move your life forward in the most positive way and to a point where you are able to impact other people. My name is Botaki Tlalele from Dreams Made Possible. Please take the opportunity to subscribe and let's build the community of dreamers who are going to change their lives, but also the lives of people around them. My friends, nothing of value has ever been achieved without people taking risks. And as I said, for emphasis, here I'm talking about taking positive risks. And you might be surprised as to why other people's lives seems to be going faster and ahead more than the lives of other people. And the main distinguishing factor in most cases is the appetite for risk, the extent to which you are able to put yourself out there and test what life can give back so that you can change your life in the most positive way. Now, the challenge is that most people expect that they should not destabilize anything that is happening in their lives. But if you are going to take risks, unfortunately, you've got to destabilize something without distracting any other thing. You have to be able to move out of your comfort zone and then do things that are even going to surprise you. Let me give you an example. If on a particular morning you decide to wake up to paint your living room, you are going to move the furniture. You are not going to paint the living room with everything intact in that room. You've got to move the TV stand so that you can be able to paint behind that TV stand, that wall behind the TV stand. Okay, you've got to move the couches. Then you are not distracting anything, but you are destabilizing how things are looking in that living room until you have finished painting, so that you can have a well-looking wall, but also clean couches and furniture that is not tainted by paint. Such is life. You've got to destabilize yourself. You've got to move certain parts of your furniture. That furniture being fear, being doubt, move it aside, but use it to propel you to go into the next stage and take risks. And that's what risk taking is all about. And I would like to share with you at least 7 benefits of why you have to take risks with your life. But before we go there, let me share with you a powerful quote that comes from Marco Saravagna, who is the head or the founder of Regenesis Business School. And it goes like this: be a risk taker. 10% of people are risk takers and 90% of people are risk averse. 10% are leaders and 90% are followers. 10% of people control 90% of wealth. A risk-taking propensity distinguishes the successful from the unsuccessful. So, don't you want to be part of the 10%? Don't you want to be part of the people that are changing people's lives? Don't you want to be part of those people that are successful in life, irrespective of how you define success? My simple definition is that there must be progress in life and I should be able to impact others. And I want to be part of that 10%. Hence, I've got the propensity to take risks so that I can move my life forward. Let's get into the first benefit. Risk-taking helps you to understand yourself better. You get to understand your strengths, you get to understand your weaknesses. Let me take you a few years back, to be precise, 2016. I sat in my home office that one of the evenings. I always liked to journal, always liked to write something. And a thought came to my mind to say, you have shared this with a few people, and they have liked what you have shared with them. Would it be a better idea to just start a blog and write every week and share whatever little knowledge that you have with other people? Little did I know that I've got a strength in writing, but also a strength in speaking. Had I not taken that risk to put myself out there and and share with the world what I know, and based on the feedback that I got from other people, I could not have started the blog to start with. So through that process, I started to understand my strengths, my limitations, and other stuff. I started to see, to realize how courageous I am. I started to see the discipline that I have. I started to understand that I can be a good storyteller. So going out there and putting myself out there to the world helped me to understand what are the things that I'm good at and what are the things that I need to hone so that I can become better in the things that I am intending to do with my life. So that is the first benefit. You start to understand your weaknesses, you start to understand your strength if you put yourself out there. Point number two, it helps you to build your character when you start taking risks. You know, life is not plain sailing, ladies and gentlemen. Life is about looking at challenges, facing them, and dealing head on with those challenges. When I started my business, I remember going out there. I've shared it in one of the videos to say, I got rejections from people that were closer to me that I thought maybe they would help me to pick up. But besides that, you go to different quarters, you think you've got the greatest proposal that we have, but you still get rejections. So as just one example, had I not put myself out there to start the business, and had I not been rejected, and maybe everything's had moved smoothly, I wouldn't have known how to deal with issues of rejection, how to deal with myself if I'm down, because the idea of risk takers is not to stay down, because the great do not belong on the ground. The great belong up there, and the great make sure that they influence other people's lives. So out of dealing with rejections, out of feeling down, out of not having a salary or money into my bank account, I built my character. It built my emotional and psychological spheres to a point there where I was able to face life at its own terms and use that experience to build other people so that they can also build their characters. So that's the value that comes with putting your life your life to risk and do the things that you never thought you'd be able to do. The third point is about continuous learning. You cannot put yourself out there and take risks if you are not prepared to learn. There's a lot of learning that happens. When you start to focus on something and you say, I've never done this thing before, but I am going to immerse myself into understanding the ins and outs of this process, of this methodology, you start to learn not only about yourself, as I said initially, about understanding your weaknesses and your strength, but it's about understanding even the industry that you you're operating in. Get to understand what are the critical success factors in what you do. What are the things that the best in your area of specialization do to be able to get where they are? So there is an element of continuous learning that happens when you put yourself out there, so that you can be able to reach the goals that are just within your fingertips. It's just a matter of you going out there, understanding better how that world operates, so that you can make a difference in that space. Let's go to the fourth point. Once you go out there and take risks, you open a door of opportunities. Let me go back to the first example about writing a blog. 3 months into, or even 2 months to 3 months after putting myself there and writing a blog, I received a call from an organization called Utango. They usually bring different blog writers under their umbrella, and then they give people an opportunity and a platform that helps them to reach this big audience across the world. And they approach me and they say, hey, we liked what we saw in terms of your writing style and the blog topics that you deal with. And I said, okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. And they said, don't you want to be part of our network? And then the long story short, I agreed, and then I was able to connect my blog to the bigger blog of Utango, and then that assisted in terms of the reach. So it opened an opportunity that I would not have had I not taken the risk. So there are many examples that I can give as to how risk-taking opens opportunities, but I think you get the point. It's about opening the space and these opportunities for you to be able to reach your goals. Related to that, which is point number 5, it expands your network. So I started going out there, I wrote a blog, and then started doing a course in coaching. And I also got a coach for myself so that I can become better. But this coach that I started working with liked something about my style and how I did coaching. And within no time, he said to me, let us work together, become my partner. And out of his network, he opened doors. And then the people that were in his network became my network as well. And had it not been for that, I could not have got that opportunity to be part of that network. And I started growing from that network. Because remember, when you take new risks, when you take new challenges in life, it means that now you're getting into spheres, into spaces that you have never been part of before. And when you get into those spaces, you meet new people and you meet like-minded people. And these people as well have got networks, and you become part of a network on top of a network. It becomes that simple for you to be able to grow yourself and meet other people. If you can't take risk and you stay in the space that you're comfortable with, you will always think to the level only of the people that you know. You know, there's a saying that says, show me 5 of your friends and I will tell you where your future is going. Exactly. You need to take the risks so that you are able to meet new people in this life journey. Point number 6, it helps you to help others. You know, risk-taking is very, very important, especially in the context of our South African Black people. And I'm saying this because we understand our history. We understand where our families are. So somebody in that family must be able to take the risk and put themselves out there so that they can be able to help their families out of poverty, as an example. You start a journey and you say, I'm going to take the risk of going to study, even if I do not have money. The universe will respond to me. And that's what I did. I went into university without much, and which is a risk I was taking because I was never guaranteed as to how am I going to pay for the fees. Okay, my father could only do so much with the little that he had. But out of that experience, I went ahead and gave myself so much that within the first 6 months being at university, I got a bursary. Within 2 months from that point, I got another bursary. And as a result, I was able to study. And with me being able to study, I was able to lift my family up and then help some of my siblings to go to school and achieve the things that they wanted to achieve. So if all of us were seated in a corner and we were afraid to take the risks, that could not have happened. And the benefit out of it is not only lifting people by giving them money or any of them, but it's more about demonstrating the positivity to them, also demonstrating to them that it is possible. And once people start to see that you're role modeling the right behaviors, and because of your risk taking, you're able to take them out of their situations. The last point, which is point number 7, all of the above, the 6 points that I've mentioned, are so critical because they help you to achieve your goals. A life without goals is non-existent. You are just cruising. But once you take the risks, you are increasing your chances of achieving your goals in this life. You cannot stay in the same position for the rest of your life. You have to push yourself to be able to use the talents and gifts that God has given you to be able to achieve your goals. Cannot achieve your goals by feeling sorry for yourself and just creating a pity party. Go out there, set up goals, and these goals are going to challenge you to a point where you've got to take a risk to be able to achieve them. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing special out there between the successful and the unsuccessful. If there is anything special, it is that aspect of being able to take risks so that you can move your life forward. You can do it. You are able to take the risks about your life and then impact other people. I hope we meet in the next video where you would have moved the needle of your life by taking one risk at a time. I advise you, I recommend to you, that one thing that you are afraid to do, just do it daily and you will thank me later. Until we meet in the next video, I thank you.